Okay, welcome in. Welcome in. Hi, I'm Sarah. New show. We have a lot to cover. We're going to get right to it because we have Sister Wives news about Christine Brown Woolley's book that is dropping in just a few weeks, 1st of September. If you haven't pre-ordered the book, you can do so on Amazon. It is the first Sister Wives book that is coming out since basically 2011. Remember when the family published a whole book? Well, Christine Brown is the first one. I think we're going to get a book eventually from Mary. If Janelle was smart, we're going to get a book from her. Honestly, if Kody and Robin were smart, they would do one. Sister Wife, a memoir of faith, family, and finding freedom. You can pre-order now, out 1st of September. But she is now dropping some juicy nuggets on the night that Truly was born. Why Kody was like away from the delivery room where he was, what Robin was saying. And then she's also basically talking about Kody admitting that the show is all about him. Okay, Kody, back the fuck up, okay? Back it up. Now, do I want to interview Kody and Robin this year? I do. I think that would be such an epic interview. Not that he's going to tell you anything. I think he dictates a lot of like interviews and what you're going to ask, what you're not going to ask. But I'm going to give Christine a lot of credit. I actually think maybe we'll get some juicy tea about Kody in this book. And I initially thought we wouldn't because she was in a custody lawsuit against Kody that was resolved in May. So anyhow, I'll get you up to speed more on what's going on. Then a lot of you have asked me to do a deeper dive into what is happening to the Welcome to Plathville family season 7. What the hell is happening with this show? I got to tell you, I know Veronica and Olivia, exes of the Plath boys, want to see this show canceled, but I have to say, I think the ratings are enormous, and there's a lot of tea coming out. Fans are reacting. Remember the scene from last week where Kim Plath was basically threatening Barry and saying, look, if you don't come in the house, remember because they were fighting about their divorce. It's been 3 years. She says Barry is holding the whole damn thing hostage. He makes 10 times more money than she does. And she basically said, look, if you don't come inside, I'm going to tell them everything. Well, people have some theories like, what is she going to tell? What was she about to tell on camera? So we'll talk about that. And then Ethan Plath, I said, look, in episode 1, Ethan Plath got a lot of praise for calling out Lydia Plath's now husband, Zach Weiss, essentially saying like he seems gay, they shouldn't get married. But he is starting to get a lot of backlash. A lot of people believe Ethan is jealous. So I'll tell you why people are saying that Ethan is jealous of Lydia and Zach. And then Lydia Plath has commented for the first time on if in fact her husband, Zach Weiss, is gay. This seems to be a huge plot point. I don't think he's gay. I don't think he's like an effeminate little Christian guy. I mean, what do you, they saved their first kiss for their wedding day. I don't know. I think more men now are effeminate anyway, right? And they're still straight. I don't think he's gay. I'm sorry. I just don't. I just don't think he's that gay. Anyhow, so what can you do? But we'll talk about that. And then I had teased yesterday on the podcast that I was going to give a baby update. I'm 9 weeks, almost 10 weeks pregnant, and I will give you the update on everything that was happening. I did have a little bit of a scare with a subchorionic hematoma. So I'll get into more about that. But I had a sonogram on Friday and baby looks awesome. Actually was measuring 1 day ahead, which I feel like is a good sign because the miscarriage that I had at like 12 or 13 weeks, the baby was never measuring on time. The baby was always like 4 days behind. And I think by the 12-week scan, the baby was like a week behind. So I feel like at least with the baby measuring on time, this is a good sign. And I'll tell you about the subchorionic hematoma. Hopefully some of you guys have stories about them as well, and everything resolved itself fine. So we'll get into that if you want to stick around at the end. But you are all here for Sister Wives Tea and welcome to Plathville. So let's get into it. I got to take it back. I think Christine Brown Woolley, and we're live on TikTok. We'll go to the TikTok lines, by the way. If you want to weigh in, if you have any comments, questions, just drop it. We'll get to it. Christine Brown Woolley's book, I actually think is going to be pretty good. It's out 1st of September. And she's been dropping excerpts, and also she is doing the reading. You know how everybody does a audiobook? It's her own voice for the audiobook. And she's like dropping some juicy nuggets about Kody. Now, fans have two theories about this. Fans have a theory that like the most gossip we're going to get about Kody is what she's putting on her Instagram to lure people in to buy the book, and then we're not going to get nitty gritty. And then other people go, okay, wait a minute. I think we're going to get some family tea from Christine Brown that we didn't think we were going to get. So here's the two major things that happened. Over the weekend from an Instagram post and being picked up today by People and Parade, essentially, Christine Brown is saying that Kody would tell all of the women that the show was about him. Christine reflected on the TLC series, and she's going to get into it more in her book. She revealed that Kody seemed to view himself as the complete star of Sister Wives rather than a member of an ensemble cast with wives, she says. She read, quote, I used to rib Kody that the show was called Sister Wives. It's not Kody and the Sister Wives. She was holding up the book in her Instagram post. He'd say, but it's really about me. He was right to some extent, Christine went on to say. She concluded he'd say he was the most dynamic. This man, the nerve. He'd say he was the most dynamic of all of us. I would agree that he was the most dynamic of all of us, Christine says. The show's premise, of course, focused on Kody as the head of the household, and it highlighted how he managed multiple relationships and families within a polygamous lifestyle. So that excerpt is kind of going viral where Christine's like, yeah, behind the scenes, he always thought he was the star of the show, and he would tell us he was the most dynamic. What a humble man. What a humble man. Does this surprise anybody? By the way, I want you to drop in the TikTok comments right now. We are over 400 people strong. Hit the hearts. Share with somebody that loves Sister Wives. Welcome to Plathville. And we're going to get into the Hunting Wives on Netflix if you're watching that sexed up drama. So share it right now. But I want you to drop a comment. Do you think Christine Brown Woolley's book is going to drop some tea on Kody or not really? Brandy says that Kody's hair has been the main character through it. Oh my God. I know. So do you think Christine's book is going to drop juicy details? Oh, yes, I hope so, Kitty says. Sad he used his son's funeral as a PR, even though he was told that they had cameras and weren't welcome. Actually, that's not true, Tony. So Tony's referring to the rumor. There was a rumor, but Mary Brown actually shut this rumor down. There was a rumor that Kody and Robin have become distanced from McKelty and Tony, who they were always very close with, because they showed up to the military funeral for Garrison uninvited with cameras. And Mary Brown came on TikTok probably a month and a half ago and completely shut that down. Said it really bothered her. That was absolutely not true. They were always invited to their son's funeral and there were no cameras. Like that was absolutely completely false. So I thought Kody was quite sincere through the Garrison stuff. I did. I really did. I mean, I completely believe Christine. I think he's a complete narcissist and thinks the show is all about him. But I actually found him to be sincere through the grieving of Garrison. I know a lot of people, and I think people are right to debate this. You know, he was estranged from his sons to some degree before their passing. Kody has done People magazine interviews and says that's one of his great regrets, and he said it in the show. So anyhow, but that rumor isn't true, according to Mary, FYI. So we'll put it out there. The other big nugget of gossip that Christine is dropping in the book on her Instagram page is essentially giving more details into the day that Truly was born, and basically insinuates that Kody did not want to be with her when Truly was born. Instead, he wanted to be with Robin. In an Instagram reel, Woolley was seen reading a passage from her upcoming book, and the excerpt brought up an incident that occurred during Sister Wives Season 1, Episode 4. A lot of people have had questions about this over the years when Truly was born, and Kody was nowhere to be found. According to Woolley, instead of staying at the hospital with her, Kody rushed to be with Robin. Back then, Kody and Robin were just engaged. So the Brown family patriarch was supposed to be prioritizing his wife, Christine, and unborn daughter, but instead left to go check in with Robin and her kids while Christine was in labor. So this has been edited in and out from season 1, but Christine gives more details. She says what made the situation even worse was the fact that Wooly had experienced a miscarriage just a year prior to Truly. So she was really looking for support throughout the labor. She truly was lying high. Christine's blood pressure was dropping. Her water had just broken. In the middle of all this, she had to call Kody herself to ask him to come back to the hospital. Meanwhile, Kody was back at the house with absolutely no sense of urgency or concern for Christine. Oh my, what the? Okay, well, I mean, I guess he'd already had 17 children at that point. So, I mean, are you like that rushed at this? Okay, that seems terrible, right? But at the same time, the guy's got like 17 children. Are you like really rushed to see your 18th? You're like, yeah, you know what? I know this. Like, I know how this is going to go, you know? For years, fans of the show have debated whether Kody's detour was even needed to see Robin, or if he was just using it as an excuse to, quote, grab his bag to actually go and meet up with Robin. Since the rest of the family was coming to the hospital anyway, one of them could have easily brought things to the hospital, but Christine admits that it was shady what he ended up doing. She also says that she was taken aback in the moment when Kody used the opportunity of Truly's birth to ask the doctor about Mary getting IVF. I mean, this man. Now, again, I mean, if you've had 17 kids and you've got like a doctor for an hour, I mean, is it so bad to go? Now, by the way, what are the chances of IVF? Can you give me some scoop on IVF? I got you here. And, you know, my fourth wife or third wife has just given birth to my 18th child. Anyhow, a lot of people reacting to this today and now believing that Christine is going to drop the T. Going to drop the T in the new book. So absolutely go and order it on Amazon. I'm hoping Christine will come on the show and talk more about it. I'm very curious. I've pre-ordered. I'm ready for my book. Okay, let's go to the TikTok line, see if you have any other further comments about Kody and Robin. Tony says it was so tacky that Kody brought up Robin, or was even at Robin's. It was tacky that he brought up IVF about Mary. Why would he even have stuff at Robin's house, writes Fluffy. They were not married, so he wouldn't have been living there. Well, great question. He apparently left his overnight bag for the hospital, supposedly there. Tony also adds, absolutely heartbreaking. That must have been the baby Gwen talked about, and Kody, oh, burying the baby. Yes. Yeah, Christine had a pretty serious miscarriage. That was really sad. Okay, let's move on. This whole thing seems traumatic AF for Christine. Well, now she's putting it in a book. Let's move on to Welcome to Plathville, because a lot of you have been hitting me up going, okay, what is going on with this train wreck of a show? So I have some tea for you. Couple of things. As you know, every single Wednesday on my podcast, I'm going to be doing a recap of the episodes because season 7 is a huge season. I think the ratings are enormous. I think more people than ever are tuning in. I'm getting a lot of reaction. So here are some things and updates that people want. Where do Olivia and Ethan Plath's divorce stand? Okay, so he insinuates on Welcome to Plathville that he's done with Olivia, getting divorced. So where does it stand? They are still, as of today, as of right now, what is it, August 4th? As of August 4th, August 5th, whatever day we're at, they are still not divorced in the state of Minnesota. You can go and do a public search. People's divorces, for the most part, are public. They are not divorced. What is the holdup? Nobody really knows. Olivia Plath, we'll see if she's going to do some more social media about it. Last check, Ethan wanted a divorce, had reached out. She'd done a whole series of TikTok videos. He'd gotten a lawyer, and there was a real sense of urgency. He wants to finalize the divorce. And Olivia was like, I've got a lot going on right now. Pump the brakes. As soon as I can get you the information you need, I will. But as of 1st of August, the two remain married. So do Barry and Kim Plath. Still not divorced. Now, a lot of people have had a lot of speculation about Lydia and Zach. Lydia and Zach Plath, well, they're Weiss, because that's Zach's last name, are really the focal point of this season, okay? And the season finale, spoiler alert, is going to be their wedding. And that's also when the epic fight goes down between Isaac and Micah nearly has his nose ripped off and broken. He doesn't get enough stitches. According to Veronica, his ex, he needs plastic surgery. Okay, so for the very first time, Lydia Plath is commenting on her Instagram. You can go there right now in regards to Zach's sexuality. She says it's sad and pathetic that us, the audience, are like obsessed with his sexuality over the fact that they waited to have their first kiss and do anything else until their wedding day. She says it's was something so deeply religious and important to them, and it's just sad that we all as a society can't celebrate the fact that, you know what, they pumped the brakes on hooking up until after their wedding day. And she said, a lot of people have speculated that Zach doesn't want to kiss me because he's not attracted to me. And she goes, absolutely false. We're both attracted to each other. Sis is doubling down. She says Zach is into her. He loved that prayer closet, and the two of them are getting down. So she is unfazed by the gay rumors. This poor guy. This poor man. I swear. He was just like at a religious retreat. He probably thought this little reality show was going to be a fun little experiment. Here he is being dragged through the mud left and right. Now, at first, people were celebrating Ethan Plath. I was like, are you all nuts? Ethan Plath on this show looks like a grizzly bear hunter who's about as unhinged as you can get. He looks like he's going to go crazy at any moment. He drives around in a big Lebowski car. I mean, what is happening with him? Unhinged as ever. People, you guys were celebrating him. Episode 1. People were celebrating him for saying that Zach was gay. Well, after episode 2 last week and now heading into episode 3, tides are changing. Fans are now accusing Ethan of being extremely jealous of Zach and Lydia because for Ethan, their relationship is triggering because it was supposed to be what he and Olivia had. So a lot of people feel that Ethan is coming after Zach so much. We saw in the preview that Ethan said he doesn't like Zach. He doesn't think Lydia should marry him. It's too soon. And one of the reasons that fans are speculating that that is the case is because that is the relationship that he thought he was going to have with Olivia. And it didn't work out. Well, there's a hot take. There's a hot theory. So we will see. Now, again, I think this show is going to be going, I think we're going to be getting a season 8 now and a season 9. I really do. We have a whole new focal point with Lydia, with Zach. I think I'm a huge fan of Olivia Plath, but I think the show now has a pathway without her, which I didn't really see before, because Micah and Veronica are going to break up. That's going to be very explosive. Allegedly, Ethan is engaged or wants to be engaged to Tegan, his girlfriend. Ethan's like unhinged. Isaac, I think, is even more unhinged. Kim and Barry, what the hell's going on? I mean, it's wild. So I think we're getting a lot more episodes. The family still in limbo about if they are going to continue filming this show because it has been so much stress and toxicity on the family. We will see. Okay. We'll see how everything plays out. But I have to say, I don't know about you guys, but for the very first time in this show's history, it actually like flies by the episodes. And I don't know if you knew this, but if you go back and you watch seasons 1 through 6, and you like, if you say to yourself, God, time flies, like time never slows down. If you want time to absolutely crawl, watch episodes 1 through 6. You will see how life, it is so slow. It's so painful. Episode 7 or season 7, I will give it to them, is like, it's on point. Okay, people are saying that Kim Plath needs money. That's why the show will continue. I read that the family is beyond broke. Yeah, this is my new Sister Wives. It is, Welcome to Plathville is so good. It's beyond good. And I think it's going to have enormous ratings because now, I already told you guys this yesterday on the podcast, Polyfamily is no longer coming back to TLC. Polyfamily is done. So that was the show that was supposed to replace Sister Wives, but maybe it becomes the Plaths. I think Barry is as crazy as Kim is. Now, a lot of people also want to know, Kim Plath, episode 2, gave a veiled threat to Barry. basically saying on camera, if you don't come back in my house and you don't sit down and talk about the divorce, I'm going to tell them everything. And a lot of people are speculating, what does she mean by that? Now, some people think it just means like the nitty gritty of their divorce. But a lot of other people think that there's some other darkness going on in this family. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I'll let y'all speculate. I have heard various things. I have heard crazy rumors. I am not going there. Okay. I'm not going there. I will let you speculate. But a lot of people think that Kim has some big tea on Barry and maybe the dynamics of this family. Things that go, again, they've been accused by Olivia of a lot of illegal activity that Kim ran an MLM, schemed her own kids, used their credit cards, used their credit card numbers. I mean, so I don't know. Was Barry was Kim going to drop was Barry like the mastermind? Be like, let's scam it. Because they own multiple properties in Cairo, Georgia. They own the farm that they started on, which you can Airbnb. They own that little white house that we see on the show that's up for sale for 600 and something thousand. They own a cabin in the wood. They own 3 or 4. She owns a dance studio downtown Cairo with an apartment above it. So a lot of people think she was ready to air some real dirty laundry about Barry. Oh, and I don't know. Has Barry really been single for 3 years? Or does Barry have a side piece? I mean, he can do what he wants. He's divorced. But a lot of people think Barry got a girlfriend and she was going to out the girlfriend. And is the girlfriend age appropriate? She's obviously over 18, but there's a lot of speculation, is Barry dating somebody 25? Okay. Is Barry on Hinge and he unhinged? There's a lot out there, which I pray all the rumors are true because I love this show. Okay. I love this show. But a lot of people think that Kim was ready to air the dirty laundry. I'm going to say this, though. If Kim had something really big on Barry, wouldn't they be divorced by now? If Kim had really good tea, whatever it was, whether it was Barry doing something financially he's not supposed to, or, Barry being a massive slut around Cairo, whatever, wouldn't she have dropped it by now? Wouldn't they be divorced? Why are they still not divorced? Okay. I'm going to talk really quick about my podcast course, and then we're moving on to a throwback. Kate plus 8. We all know Kate Goslin, John Goslin. Kate is now on TikTok getting a ton of attention. Yes, you can follow Kate plus 8. That is literally her TikTok handle, and I'll tell you what she's talking about. If you are listening to this podcast or watching on TikTok, you've always wanted to start your own show with your girlfriends, a sports podcast, maybe it's news, politics, whatever you are into. We are in the heyday of podcasting. Many of you may have podcasts as well. You don't know how to make money or scale up. GoBigPodcasting.com. Summer 15 is now the new August code. Summer Fun 15. Summer Fun 15 is the discount code, 15% off. From Podcasting 101, which shows you how to plug in the mic, all the way to the 6-figure master plan, which is the roadmap that I wish I had when I started 9 years ago. It's how podcasters are making thousands of dollars a month, whether it's a side hustle for them or whether it's their full-time job. I podcast full-time. It is my full-time career. So check out GoBigPodcasting.com. Makes a terrific gift as well. If you are heading into fall, somebody with a birthday, they've always been thinking about starting a podcast, do that. You can also consult with me one-on-one. Just email thesarahfrasershow.com, the Sarah Fraser Show at gmail.com. Do you think I have pregnancy brain? And we can work together one-on-one if you are not a course person and you're more of a one-on-one person. The average client consults with me about 3 hours. So we do an audit of your show. Then we do a money-making, advertising, podcast strategy, growth strategy. And then we kind of do a follow-up and implementation. So there you go. The Sarah Fraser Show at gmail.com. All right. K plus 8 is now on TikTok. If you used to watch John and K plus 8 back in the day, such a good show. Oh, my God. Talk about toxic and amazing, and really one of the shows that birthed Welcome to Plathville. The Duggars, I think, actually came up very similar. But anyhow, one of TLC's marquee shows. Kate has now joined TikTok, Kate plus 8, and she's answering a lot of your questions. Someone says she's a horrible person. Well, okay, Okay, well, I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. A lot of people, I think John Goslin would agree. I think some of her kids would agree. Now, very interesting. None of her kids appear on TikTok so far with her, which is fascinating, right? I think the kids, there's been some real damage there, and none of them appear to want to be on camera. It's a lot of Kate and her dog. She has a like puppy dog that she's training, a German Shepherd. And it's a lot of her answering questions. She's back being a nurse. She helps out a family. She's kind of like a pediatric, I think, nurse for kids that are handicapped living at home. So she goes to the house, she takes care of the child so the family can kind of have a break, go and do other things. She talks about that. So she seems to be answering questions, and she even does a get ready with me. I'm here for it. I am oddly here for the Kate plus 8 TikTok. I really love it. Couple of things that people are watching, and then we'll talk about my baby update. Okay, have you guys watched The Hunting Wives? Is anybody watching this show on Netflix? I guess everybody's watching it. The Hunting Wives, based on the novel by May Cobb. It's about these crazy Texas women, all sexed up. And they're very pro-conservative, which a lot of people love because they feel that a lot of conservative people are not represented in TV shows. So they're Texas women, they're anti-abortion, they're MAGA. So a lot of people identify with these women. Okay, I think, oh, you guys like the show? I kind of loved it. Okay, Monica, I am with Monica. I kind of loved it and kind of hated it. I feel like this is just like a lesbian escape drama for straight women. It's Cheryl says it kind of traumatized. Okay, is anybody else like it's like Friday Night Lights meets remember the show Nashville that used to be so good with Hayden Panettiere meets like I don't know, Law and Order SVU because there's a murder. I don't think it's that good. Is anyone else? I'm like, okay, where's all the hot like there's tons of hot lesbian sex. But I don't get it. I don't think it's that great. Does anyone else? Is anyone else like why is this the number one show on Netflix? I watched all 8 hours sitting on the edge of my recliner with one eye open. Really? Okay, you guys seem to like it. I couldn't make it through the first episode. I thought, thank you, Ajax. Could not make it through the first episode. I thought it was terrible. I am so with you. I thought it was awful. The plot line's stupid. Kathy says she could barely get through one episode. It's so dumb to me. It's so cringe. Ugh. It's okay. Somebody else says it's an amazing show. Telling me they're MAGA tells me all I need to know. Well, a lot of people love that part of it. I do like it, Marisol says. The plot is so stupid. The show is so dumb. My friends are loving it though. Okay, now a lot of people, like I said, feel like this is just a straight women that have had like lesbian fantasies for them to escape. I guess. I mean, there's a lot of straight sex too. It's just, I think the plot line's so dumb. I'm like, ugh. I can't with the fake, overly done country accents. I've been trying to decide if I should watch it. I mean, tune in because I am really torn. I'm like, should I just stop expecting this to be I'm like, maybe I need to just tune in and follow along with this murder cover up. Sorry, spoiler alert. And lesbian plot line and just let it go. But then I'm like, ugh, I just feel like I'm not interested. Yeah, okay. So you guys it's like 50, maybe it's more 60-40. 60-40 people like it. This is how I feel about the Mormon Wives show. Everyone loved it, but I just didn't like it. I get that on Mormon Wives too. They're not lesbians. Well, okay, well, sorry. They're not lesbians. They just like hook up with each other, whatever. Now there's going to be like a hot lesbian twist. I had to restart the first episode 3 times, just couldn't get into it. Barbara Ann, I'm with you, girl. I was scrolling on my phone. I'm like, when is this supposed to get good? Like, what is this? Dermot Mulrooney is in it. Remember him from My Best Friend's Wedding? Oh, he was so hot back in the day. Oh my God, gorgeous. He was one of Hollywood, such a hottie. And My Best Friend's Wedding was one of the greatest films back then. Mormon Wives is ridiculous. I know what you mean. I'm hit or miss on that one too. I think the best part was it kept you on your toes. Definitely not believable, but full of action. Yeah, I think that's the part, Dina. It's like so unbelievable. I'm sort of like, ugh, I don't know. Okay, the show that I was watching though that did have me on the edge of my seat is the documentary of Larry Rudolph, the dentist, that it's called Trophy Wife: Murder on a Safari. This one was good. It's a three-parter on Netflix. I was glued. Sorry, it's on Hulu. Absolutely glued. I feel like I kind of vaguely remember Larry Rudolph, trophy hunter. He'd go to Africa. He was one of these guys. He'd like shoot, these lions and all this stuff. Carried on an affair, had like a multi-million-dollar dentistry practice in Pittsburgh, and then murdered his wife of like 25 years. But interestingly enough, his mistress went to jail too, which was kind of crazy because I didn't think they really had enough evidence to convict her. But that one I actually watched. I was very interested in. Wait, was Sister Wives already renewed? Sister Wives has been renewed. We're getting a season 20, and the season 20 will start in September. Amy Bradley is, the documentary about Amy Bradley is so good. And now I follow Brad Bradley here on TikTok. I'm like obsessed with Brad Bradley's updates. I mean, I don't know. I try to believe all the theories about Amy Bradley, but I think she accidentally fell overboard. I do. Okay, what's that about? Sorry, I'm like breathing heavy into the microphone. I'm 9 weeks pregnant, but you'd think I was 37 weeks. I'm already like, why would they name him Brad Bradley? I don't know. Everyone's been very fascinated by that too. Amy Bradley's brother's real name is Brad Bradley. And people are like, what? He seems like a sweetie. He's on here. I should get him on the podcast because this story, Amy Bradley's story, is still getting a lot of attention. They've had FBI experts weigh in. And I mean, I will say some of the pictures, some of the things that have happened since her disappearance do lead you to believe that maybe she was, trafficked and has a child and is protecting that child. I mean, there's some odd things about the story for sure. I love hearing you say you're pregnant after all you've been through. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I will give you an update right now, actually, on my pregnancy. I am almost 10 weeks preggers. I'll be 10 weeks preggers this week. Here's my little, is it up? Okay, wait. Can you see it? There's my little baby, 9 weeks. I did have a bit of a scare, and thank you. Some of you guys have sent me some amazing, amazing positive stories. Please keep them coming. I had something I found out 2 weeks ago, maybe a little bit more, that I have something called a subchorionic hematoma, basically a pocket of blood that develops between the baby and the uterus. Very common. I think almost 30% of women have them. My IVF clinic, my doctor's like, very common. And at first, they were like, most of the time it will just absorb. You won't even know it's there. Okay, so it was great. I went on vacation to Maine. Everything was good. And then I started having this brown discharge, which really scared me and began to like freak me out emotionally and mentally because I've had that before with miscarriages that I've had. So I was like, I was just really, really down. And they were like, no, it's fine. Like it's the hematoma and, it's shrinking. So that's a really great sign. Baby's doing great. Okay, go on vacation. I had a wonderful week in Maine with my family, which was really good. Needed to see my mom. And you guys, I think a lot of you have been following my story with my Uncle George, who I loved, my gunkle, who I was so close with. And then probably a couple years ago in his 70s, he decided to get into like a gay leather community. And you guys, it was like off the charts. Honey, he was going to leather conventions. He was getting beat in a leather vest. I mean, I was like, who is doing this at 71? I think he was using ketamine again. I mean, the guy had a heart condition. I'm like, this is not a good recipe here. But he went out the way he wanted. He died at the opera in New York with his friend. And, he went out the way he wanted. So we had a memorial for him in Maine. It was great. Okay, I had a great week. About a week in, I had this gush of blood. Emotionally freaked out, lost it, thought I lost the baby. I mean, when I tell you guys distraught, I have really got myself to stay off Google because I have some PTSD. The last miscarriage I had was just this past March. So having this baby, and again, this is like I'm using an egg donor. So the egg is 26 years old. So when I get into complete panic mode, I go to myself, Sarah, this isn't like, this is a 26-year-old egg, much different. You don't have any underlying health conditions. Like this baby is healthy. This baby is good. But the gush of blood freaked me out. I was just tailspin. So I booked a flight back the next day. I was convinced. I was like, it's over. I treated myself to like a venti coffee and Starbucks. I was spiraling. I went to Starbucks. I ordered the grande or venti, whatever the medium one is. And I was like, well, I'm just going to caffeinate up because this is it. But it was weird because I thought I'd had the miscarriage the couple days before with the gush of blood, but I kept feeling starving. Like I got back to LA. I had to go to Whole Foods and I got like an entire huge container from their hot bar, which I usually never do, of mashed potatoes and lasagna. So I was like, that's weird. I'm still having these cravings. What's going on? Treat myself to the venti latte, go in. I completely broke down crying on Friday in the doctor's office. And they're so positive there. They're so freaking positive when you're not at Reproductive Partners. I love them, not sponsored. And they bring up the sonogram and they're like, baby is great. Baby's fine. And the hematoma's gone. They're like, it was probably just the hematoma passing and all the bleeding has stopped and the brown discharge. You guys, when I tell you I'm on my knees, it is so hard. I'm such a control freak. Turning it over to God and just saying, okay, I know you got me. You got the best plan has been really, really hard. Really hard. But baby is doing great. And the baby had some wiggles on the little sonograms. They're like, it's okay. Take a deep breath. They're like, one day at a time. I'm like, I can't. This is too much. Why is it so dramatic? This baby shit is not for the faint of heart. I admire where are my mamas that had like no drama? And where are my mamas? So many women I talked to had like no pregnancy symptoms and they give birth to like the healthiest kid. They're like, yeah, I was a little tired. Yeah, I had like one day where I felt like nauseous and then that was it. I'm like, mamas, who are you? So anyhow, if you have a subchorionic hematoma story, please tell me. I had one with my son KJ and I had a super healthy pregnancy, but it wasn't till like the 22, 23 week mark. But anyway, it's not on the sonogram. Things are looking great. We're in great shape. We're, going to be 10 weeks this week. So we got a couple more weeks to get through that first trimester. I'm fat. I can feel it already. And we'll see. They wanted me to take a baby aspirin, which I also took with my son. I bet a lot of you guys over 35 who are pregnant have done that. Helps with preventing preeclampsia. It's supposed to be very good for the baby. So we're holding off on that because I had this brown discharge and gush of blood spell. So we'll see if we pick that up or not, but things are going well. I feel pretty good. So yes, thank you. I appreciate all the good vibes and checking in. And I know sometimes I don't check in with you guys, which is not meaning anything. It's just I've had such a relaxing summer and I've kind of wanted to be offline a little bit. So there you have it. There's the baby update. Okay. Full week of shows here at TSFS. Going to do a welcome to Plathville. Season 7, Episode 3 recap Wednesday. Thursday, David Yontif behind the velvet rope joins. What going on in the Bravo world? This Kelly Dodd stuff is crazy. RHOC news, Denise Richards now filming RHOBH. We'd said there's no way Denise is coming back. Is she coming back? A lot going on. David also joins again on Saturday. Sunday, we usually play one of our most popular episodes, get you guys caught up, whether it's an interview or news. And we've only got about a month, maybe a little more than a month. We're going to be getting Sister Wives back. Season 20. Woo! TLC is busy. Busy. Okay, bye, everybody.